Welcome to Going Insane with Temperance Maine. That's me. How we doing? How we doing? Be honest. By the way, just some housekeeping. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be informed that a new video has dropped. Leave a comment, even if it's just emoji, helps to promote the video. Thanks so much. So, lovely Saturday. I'm wearing my cricket glasses. Not going to do it. Doing some things. Actually, another reading for somebody. And I'm going to have to wear my glasses. I have a different pair. These are the ones that kind of gets, laid down on, slipped on. You can tell. This card came up. I didn't, oddly enough, same general topic that we were discussing both videos earlier today. Okay. So it's added together, it's 14. Put it together again, it's a 5. Change. See the leaves on there changing. See that face in there? A little bit hollow, a little bit kind of alive, kind of dead. It's called the wailing tree. Reconciliations. You can see in the background, there's light. There's light after the tree. There's colors of the rainbow there and here. It's starting to burst through the darkness because we're no longer extracting light from the situations, because we're realizing they're mirrors, they're reflections of our environment. In our environment, we're weeding our gardens and maintaining them, going for the root until we get it. No condemnation, no shame, no guilt, self-love, love of self, forgiveness of self, that then starts to metamorphose into our surroundings, service to others, to expand our gardens. Anyway, so, and then like today, managing manageable periods of time, sections, compartments of a day, getting through that, learning our triggers, identifying them before they bloom into hemorrhoid status. Pain in the asses, right? I mean, they happen. And we just proceed and we deal with them. But I wanted to read this to y'all because I was prompted. It was like, there's your next message. I went, okay. Who might argue? It's not my message. It's your message. I'll totally be able to see now. The sun's up. Okay, so wailing tree. Grief and mourning, a time of necessary losses and reconciliations. So, as we're going through our journeys, right? Jeez, oh my gosh. As we're going through our journeys And we're starting to identify the toxicity in the tar pits and our cords and where they're attached. And the toxic situations that we've allowed past our self-love boundaries because of lack of love of self. It's a lack of it, okay? And the more we focused on the lack, the more lack we got, because it's like the inflection is lost in the energetic exchange. If you're focusing that much on it, you must want more of it. It's the general idea. So, grieving is where this is going. Because, like I've said in a previous video, we're attached to this crud for a reason. Somewhere in our experience, it seemed appropriate or fulfilling or worthwhile. Chasing dragons. It's never like the first time. And if masks start cracking of people and their true darkness is all you see instead of light shining through the cracked pot. This video. You start going, oh, Shaggy. And then you revisit, and 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 you're going around and around, and you're digging your rut to your neck. But like with family, I mean, toxic situations, you love them. People you love. Especially light workers and empaths, okay? I know I love deep, really deep. But that's not enough. My love of the people in the situation is not enough. I cannot allow it to be more important than self-love. And neither can you. Neither can any soul. If we can't do our own love fest for ourselves, appreciate who we are, why we're that way, and how far we've come, then let's start at the beginning of this video series and just start over. It's okay. Keep doing it. You just keep doing the work. Okay. So now I'm going to read. When you encounter the walling tree, I know this wailing tree. When you encounter the wailing tree on your path, it's an invitation to stay a while and regroup. A place for you to rest and allow yourself to say goodbye to what no longer serves you or serves at all. What's tapped into you, keeping you from tapping in, tuning in, and turning on. The cords that are attached down in the undivine matrix. You may have been overdoing things, working too hard, putting too much effort into life with little reward. That's thinking. You may have been overdoing things, working too hard, or putting too much effort into life with little reward. I get it. But every person has to gauge their own block and situation. When we're in the midst of toxic situations, we overcompensate in other areas, either to appease them wanting us to be a poodle through a ring of fire circus, their rings of fire, not our ultimate goals for ourselves. I mean, if we're putting that much effort, it's tied into our dreams and desires at some level. But if you're not getting payback, if you're not getting the rewards, or very little, or you get the rewards and then poof, there it goes. It's just another mountain. Wow. And you're just feeding a tar pit, a toxic waste dump, over and over and over again. And that can be so frustrating and demoralizing and undermining, disrespectful. And ultimately, the souls of the situations doing that don't give a shit about edifying you or partnering or anything of best interest for anybody but themselves or itself. And no matter who or what it is, when you love it so much that you're willing to put that much effort in, and you just want to make things work out for everybody, including yourself. But it's like, why can't we just get along? Why isn't this a mutual endeavor and reciprocal behavior? Whatever it is, right? And you're like, I must be the unluckiest mofo ever born, or the worst mother ever walked this earth, or whatever, right? It's not. It's not you. It wasn't me. But mourning the loss and the dream as we're letting it go, feeling the emotion of it is so important because that's a deep root. So you embrace your good, your bad, your ugly, and your otherwise, and you bring them in tight, and you mourn together. Each aspect of yourself that tried so hard, dreamed so hard, worked so hard, loved so hard at this situation, relationship, dream, and you mourn. The stages of mourning are very important when we're doing this. Otherwise, it's going to come back. It's going to be more root. And it's going to be a big, rosy, red, right? I'll just say it like it's, put down a flaming hemorrhoid for a while. So if we don't address that work up front, know it's there. So when it does rear up, we can identify it without really needing to, what the, I thought I'd cut these damn cords. And that was one of my trip ups. Mourning. allowing myself to just be sad and let it go. Like really sad. Like gut wrenching sad. And then release. And can you tell the difference? Or not if you don't know me. If you know me, you can. Shh. It was my missing piece for a long time. And it's not the mourning of the death of a relationship ever, or readdressing, or approaching the dream again at a different angle. It's not about that. It's about codependency and control. And those two things have no business in true, healthy love of self or love of anybody else. Because without loving ourselves, we cannot show them how to love us correctly. And then, the codependent part goes with it. And then you're free to be you. I'm free to be me. Moving on. With little reward. If you've been considering making a change, now is the time to do so. One important thing to consider before you make any changes is that you need to allow yourself to feel your disappointment, your loss, and mourn what was and what could not be. I mean, toxic can't be healthy. Not until every portion of that situation gets healthy. Or at least the portions you're going to re-invite in. Down the road, when this is, an old glove. Not even an old glove, comfortable. I mean, you just slip into it, and it's like, ah, ah, yeah. And then there's bliss, because you can do joy to 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 joy. And 0.0 point of bliss is your baseline. You can truly gauge from there. You can gauge if you're going below it, if you go above it. Ecstasy. Do you ever think life could be ecstasy? Just hanging out by yourself? Yeah. Especially when you have healthy relationships, like-minded, like-hearted souls headed in the same direction and untethered from 3D. Just saying. Just saying. It's how it worked for me. Seems to be the way that works for all the people I know that are like-minded, like-hearted, and like-oriented, goal-oriented like me. It seems to be pretty much the standard. I mean, and mourn what was and what could not be. This is a way to honor your experience. It's nothing. It's just a misstep, whatever. It's not mistakes are just lessons. I mean, if we all walked the perfect walk, we wouldn't be here. There would be no point. And we came down here from that to here to experience this shit. Purpose. It's okay. I promise you. It's okay. This is a way to honor your experience and give yourself time to consider all of the gifts in it, to put proper closure on it, to really know what you've learned as you walk away from it and into something new. Even in the perception of failure, there's much good to be discovered. However, skipping the stages of loss doesn't get you to reconciliation any faster. In fact, you will discover that you will have to come back at some point. Period. You will. And that's okay if you do. If you don't want to, press in. Feel the emotions. Just let it all out. 50 years of letting it out. It wasn't pretty. But it's a whole lot of ugly that's not in me anymore. I don't wear it on my face, or my sassy mouth, or my ego, defense, and pride. Ego, pride. Shame. If you don't embrace the pain, you're going to end up back in shame. Because if you're not dealing with your emotions, that means you're ashamed of them. Humans are the only animal on this planet that can cry and feel, and that's the point of our existence. And that's why they have tried to, you don't have to feel nothing. Here's a pill. You don't have to feel anything except for fear and, whatever we tell you, and let us suck that energy off you. Because if we come into balance, they got no food. Anyway, moving on. Even in the perception of failure, there is much good to be discovered. However, skipping the stages of loss doesn't get you to reconciliation any faster. In fact, you will discover that you will have to come back at some point. So do it all now. Look at it all squarely and honestly, and stay with your feelings. If we don't honor our feelings, we shouldn't be moving forward. That's what we're showing the way to. So that's thinking. You got to go through them to get to the capability to receive the gifts of joy and bliss, ecstasy, co-creation, manifestation, abundance, love, intimacy on the other side of that wall, that veil between the undivine matrix and the divine matrix. The tunnel is full of water, which is emotion. So ride that way. Feel all the emotions inside that curl. When you get to the beach, you say, wow. And then just ride the ecstasy. That's pretty good. Life is not either or. It's both and. This and that. So as you dive in, shout out to Rouse Smart, deep divers, and process this, allow it to become a temporary travel companion on your journey. The feelings that this will bring to the surface will be challenging for sure. Yet, like all things, they will pass soon enough, and you will be more enriched by the experience. That, my friends, is the message. Love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. We've got this. Once you're awake, you don't go back to sleep. Once you see the truth, you can't really settle in with the lie again. So let's press in, shall we? Yes, let's call in the gang. Be grateful. Be kind. Ask for help. Reach out to somebody who loves you, that will support you. You know, friends are important. It's important to have the right friends. You know, with this 90-day vacay detour that we took off here, it's part of the path. It's not really a detour, but today seems to be that cul-de-sac. Making amends. Making amends is part of the 12-step program. I mean, if you have any familiarity with it at all. And making amends, even if it's just a letter that you write out to whomever, if they're not here, just write a letter to them, and then burn it. If you need to say sorry to somebody, say it, because then that's a huge part of the root that you're going to have to dig out for some of these toxic weeds with goat heads and ouch. And whether or not they accept your apology or your explanation isn't important on the scale of our healing. It's the saying it part, because then it's released. It's not stuck rattling around in our head going, oh my God. Yeah, because it will. And then it's a trigger. And then it's so get it out. Whatever's rattling up there, write it. You can write a letter, mail it off to somebody, then you don't actually have to face them as long as you're sending it out. You know, so whatever you think works for you, do it. Because it's important that you focus on your healing, because you're important, you're worthy, you're worth it. It's just the intricate wiring that humans are created with are so individualized yet so similar that pathways to clear up some of the static are the same. That's why the 12-step program has been around as long as it has. And those programs can work too. I didn't go to AA. I went to Al-Anon though. I mean, I did go to AA a couple times, but I found that the Al-Anon was more helpful to me because part of my makeup, how I ended up drinking to medicate, was because of the alcoholics in my life that I kept inviting in. I mean, I didn't identify that at the time, but it helped me to, sure enough. So, I mean, the thing about it's not shameful to go somewhere, to be somewhere, to talk to somebody, and just say, hey, look, this is the truth about me. That's why the mask coming off and being radically honest is important. Having an accountability partner. Just make sure you don't stay in your head. You know, dreading things. Because once you do the first thing, Once you do the first one, the rest are easy because it's never as bad as your fear mind, false evidence appearing real, makes it out to be. It's something terrifying to be authentically you. So trust that you're worthy and you're worth it, you're special. You're a light worker, a way shower. That's why you're here. That's what we're doing. So, again, signing off. Thanks for hanging out with me. I love you. I love me too. I love you. Um, and have a great weekend. See you in the morning with the Oracle message. And just be a blessing and be blessed. You bless me. Ciao.